Okay, so time for changing the timing belt for the Volvosaurus. The first thing you need to do is you need to take the fan out. If I remember correctly, that's a small size nut. I believe it's number 7 or 8. Number 8. When I did this, unfortunately, I stripped one of the threads of the four that have. My recommendation here for making life easier is take one out, then move the crankshaft so that you always work in one that is on the top. Now the only thing you need to do is to take two Phillips screws from the back, and that will allow you to take that cover out, and of course take the fan out with it. And basically I'm voicing over because of the kids shouting in the back, and you will see daylight or night or, well, I took like 3 or 4 days in different intervals for finishing this. I didn't want to rush it up since it was my first time changing the timing belt. Okay, so some parts are with daylight, others are with artificial light. For removing the plastic cover, you need to take the belts out. That's just to show you that you have 2 or 3 bolts, different sizes, 12 and 13 if I recall correctly, and a Phillips screw from the back. So you will need to loosen those. Okay, so time to loosen the belts. I'm going to label them. I have 4 or 5 that I don't know if they are the right ones or not, so I have to measure them. But what I do imagine about how the tensioner works is I imagine that I need to first release the one in the back here, and that will basically allow me to use this top one for putting more or less pressure on the belts. But that's just my imagination, okay? And I know for a fact that these belts have not been changed in at least 7 or 8 years, so I'm going to change them right now. Okay, wish me luck because I'm going to need it. Okay, so as I said, you need to lose the bolt in the back. That will allow the top one to freely unscrew for tightening or loosening whatever belt you are trying to replace. And just a spoiler, the complication is with all these accessory belts, okay? The timing belt piece is not that hard, but you will have to maneuver here and there to loosen all the accessory belts. Okay, the one in the back is 30 millimeters, and this one I thought it was 12, but 12 is not. I believe it's a number 10. And the nice thing is that you see there, you have a mark. I won't mark it with liquid paper because you have a mark there where it used to be. So I'm going to release it. Now you have a lot of movement and you can simply take this belt out, okay? You see here? Okie dokie, that's one. Now for taking the one that goes from the AC compressor to the crank one, you have to take there, you see there? You have to do the same. You don't have space for a cricket ratchet or anything like that. You just need to use a 13 wrench. I need more leverage, so I'll leave the camera out for a second. Well, there's actually room for a wrench, so I'm going to use it. So once you lose that one, you have a top 10 millimeters bolt one more time. That will basically release the other belt. And now another 13 there and 12 on the top. 10, I'm sorry, 10 in the top. And I hope that when releasing the one from the alternator will help me to lose this one that I have loosened, but I wasn't able to remove. Okie dokie, I have the two from the alternator out. I have the one going to the power steering out, and I still couldn't take that one out. But I don't think that's important, because if I take the cover out and then the main pulley, then I'm going to be able just to take everything out together. Just a workaround. I hope it works. Alright, now I believe these are 12 volts. I'm just going to take those out and see what I find under the cover. By the way, the belts are a bit due. Just as a reminder to myself, 10 millimeter from the middle left, the Phillips screw from the back of the cover, the 10 millimeter in the top center, and the 12 in the middle of the cover. And here we have, now I make sure this mark connects with this one here, and I'm going to, of course, see that the other two, given that this has a distributor, are aligned as well. Okay, so now with what number is this? With the 24 millimeters, I was able to move this till the point that the marks are matching. Okay, I took a moment to think and watch some videos in YouTube, and what I'm missing, I believe, for being able to take this one is losing this one, that it's a 12, I don't know if you see it there, it's a 12 millimeters in the front and a 13 in the back, and basically that bolt will allow me to play with the AC compressor to move it up so that it releases the pressure on the belt. Okay, I'm going to do so. Okay, how to lose this bolt over here. Don't make the mistake of thinking that you need to hold it from way in the back. Okay, it's right in the middle where you have the bolt. And what you can do is, as I'm doing there, I put the 13 millimeters wrench in the back, and every time I move it, it will basically make a stop in the other one. And so just take a look. Okay, I know this is not super comfortable, but you will see there. Okay, you see there, and that's how you basically release this one, and you just need to release it. Okay, the idea is that once you do so, you will be able to move this more freely. Okay, so that's it. Okay, finally I was able to release some pressure on the 13 millimeter nut and the 12 millimeters bolt down there, and that gave me a little extra millimeter to release the tension on the belt going from the camshaft to the AC compressor. So all good. I'm going to keep working. Okay, now without the belts, you have here, you need to make sure a couple of marks match. So that's there, and then if you see here, this should have an extra piece, but the important thing is that this mark there matches that one there. You know, here I'm going to paint it with eraser, but you see here, this is a line. And the third one, given that this one has a distributor here, the third one that needs to match is one that it's under the cover pointing out to the distributor. If that third one is okay, then I feel comfortable, I'm not going to mess up. Okay, so now from top, and after painting in white, you might see that perfect alignment. Okay, here I'm not going to paint it because it's already painted. I believe someone did this a couple of years ago and it's still holding well. Okay, I have a little helper here. So now you need to install this, that you put it there, and what you're going to do there is you're going to prevent the camshafts to move. I keep inventing words, but well, you know what I mean. Okay, with the help of a power tool, I was able to release the bolt there, the crankshaft. It's supposed to be 144 foot-pounds of torque, or 120, I'm sorry, depending on the source. But for me, it was like way more. I don't know who torqued this, but I tried to get to 120. So now the next step is remove the pulley, remove the bottom cover, and then reinstalling the bolt and moving the belt around until it is realigned again. Special care, of course, with the distributor mark. Just in case, I'm going to install this, at least while I'm playing around with the covers and the belt, because I don't want this to lose timing, and I don't know actually how it really works. This was very easy. I just used my hand. Okay, the family is sleeping, so I'm going to try not to speak too loud, but that thing you see there, that's a number 10, I believe, and this one, I believe, is a number 12. That's what you need to take out to be able to take the bottom cover. By the way, it was not this one, but that one. Okay, so now that I have that bottom cover off, I need to time the belt before removing the tension. Okay, so you might see here that it's to the left. If you see down here, you need to make this notch here, match that thing over there. I don't know if you see it well. Okay, I don't know if you see it well, but it's also a bit to the left. And then you need to make sure this notch here that I'm going to paint with eraser, it's to match that other mark in the back cover, that it's over here, so it's also a bit to the left. So I'm going to put back that poly down there. I might end up putting back the crankshaft holding tool. I'm going to move it a little bit, and once it's time, I'm going to proceed with changing the timing belt. Wish me luck. Okay, that's back on. Now I'm going to put the holding tool. I'm going to apply some torque, a little bit, just to make sure. I'm going to move the belt until it's timing, and then I'm going to remove that back. Can I change this to make sure this is timed correctly? I don't think it is. I think it's way off. So I keep moving. Okay, so I'm not sure about timing, This one looks okay, but this one here looks a bit off to the top. You see, it looks like two tooth before the mark. It's sort of like pointing, and this is a distributor one, so this one might be out of time. Anyway, I believe this is how it was. I don't think I'm changing anything, but I don't know. I see this mark here painted in green. I don't know if you see it there. Maybe this needs to match here and this needs to match here a bit lower. But I know for sure that I haven't changed the timing on this, so I have already made a couple of turns and it's always going to the same place. So I don't know, I'm going to try it like this. If it's not starting, I know I need to take this one and time it. And this notch actually points out to the right place, okay? So this is the only one that it's making me doubt if this is going to be okay or not. Anyway, we will see. And maybe this was out of timing before all this, that's another chance. Okay, so now you need to release the ball here. And that's it. And now we just put the new belt on. Okay, so this is aligned, although, as I said, although I had to manually move it to align, and this was aligned. So the story is like the top one and the bottom one were self-aligned. This one was the one pointing out to the alternator was a bit off, and I have manually adjusted it. I don't know if I did okay or wrong, to be honest. I'll see when I try to start the car. Now what you need to do is depress the tensioner, take this pin out, and then release this bolt and adjust it again, and that will self-adjust the belt. There you are. I don't feel comfortable on how close to the wall it was, so I'm going to release a bit of tension. There you are. Okay, so moment of truth. This is aligned. This is aligned. You see it there a bit moved, but that's because this one is a bit moved as well. It was completely aligned, And this other one is also aligned, and I don't know if you see there, that green mark matches here, and the real mark matches the real mark in the back cover, so we should be okay. So I'm going to start it like this for a couple of seconds to see if it starts or if it doesn't, if it runs rough or if it runs normally. Oh, wish me luck, I'm going to need it. Okay guys, moment of truth. I don't know why. Because okay, it drives okay. Oh my goodness. Do you feel that was out of time? I don't think so. It started and I think it drives smooth. Okay, if you know, please leave me in the comments if you think that was a rough drive or not. I don't think it was, and it started. Anyway, if you know how I can figure out if it's out of time, but I don't think it is. It sounded pretty normal. Okay, now that the car started and I don't feel it's running rough, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the crank pulley holder back to torque this bolt here at the right amount, that it's 120 foot-pounds. Some say 140, some say 120, and some say put as much strength as possible, wherever your strength allows you. Anyway, I'll try to do it really tight, and then I'm going to put everything. Okay, I use this, and I think I torque it to something around 80 foot-pounds. I try, no matter how much I try getting it to 140, I'm not getting it. So maybe this is not a good torquemeter, or maybe, I don't know. I believe I'm going to end up moving to a click one whenever I have a chance to buy it. But now I'm pretty comfortable. It's super adjusted. Okay, so maybe after running it a couple of weeks, you know, it's recommendable to go and lose the tensioner and adjust it again. Maybe when I do that, I'm going to basically try with a different torquemeter to adjust as well the torque for the crankshaft bolt.